Hello everyone and welcome to my channel CBSC Science World. Today we are going to discuss chapter 5 of class 6 science, that is separation of substances. In this chapter we will be covering following topics: introduction, why do we separate different substances, different methods of separation, that is handpicking, threshing, winnowing, sieving, sedimentation, decantation, filtration, evaporation, and condensation. And the last topic is saturated solution. So there is a basket full of different kinds of fruits, that is grapes, oranges, apple, banana, pineapple. If we want to take out only orange, then you can easily pick it up. So here we are using separation in order to separate a particular thing from a mixture. Separating tea leaves from liquid tea. Daily, your mother or father, they prepares a tea, and before pouring it into a cup, they separate tea leaves by using a strainer. But why they are doing this? Because this liquid tea is a useful component that we drink, whereas tea leaves, they are not useful for us and we throw them away. Separating grains from stalks. We can easily separate grains from stalks because these grains, they are useful for us, and stalk, it is a non-useful component for us, but we can provide as a food to animals. Butter is taken out by churning milk or curd. By churning milk or curd, we can easily separate two useful components, that is butter and milk. Separating stones from rice. Stones, they are harmful component, and by using our hands we can easily separate these stones from rice. So in all these examples we are doing separation. Why do we separate different substances? The first separation process, separate stones from rice. Right now we discuss that we separate impurities like stones from rice and we throw all the impurities. Second one, churning milk from butter. In this process, we are separating two different but useful components and we can use both the components. Third one, separate tea leaves. In this case, tea leaves, they are not useful for us. We throw them away after separation. What are the different methods of separation? First one is hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving, sedimentation, decantation, evaporation, condensation. We will discuss all these methods of separation in detail now. The first method of separation is hand picking. From the name itself, you are getting that you are separating a particular component of a mixture by using your hands. It is used for separating slightly bigger size impurities like small pieces of stones, husk, and dirt from grains of wheat, pulses, and rice by using hands. So, this is the example of hand picking in which we are separating stones from rice using hand picking. What is the advantage of hand picking? Effectively removes bigger size impurities. What about the disadvantages? It is a time consuming process because here you are using your hands. Not very useful for small size impurities. Next method of separation is threshing. In this, we separate grains from stalks. But before that, all the grains, all the stalks, they are dried in the sun and then they are separated by using hands and by machine. In this case, people, what they do, they collect all the stalks and then they beat all these stalks on a hard surface and separate grains from stalks. Nowadays, a machine is also used which is known as thresher to separate grains from stalks. Next method of separation is winnowing. In this method, we separate heavier and lighter components of a mixture by wind. It is used to separate heavier grain particles from lighter husk particles. Grain, it is covered by an outer covering known as husk, which is lighter. The lighter husk particles are carried away by the wind and the grain seeds get separated. In this diagram, this lady is standing on a raised platform. All the grains, they are present in soup. This is the direction of air. In this process, husk will move according to the direction of the air, whereas all the grains, they will settle down at the bottom because they are heavier than husk. Husk, they are carried away by wind. So these are the wheat grains, these are the grains, and these are the husk. Next method of separation is sieving. It is a process through which particles of different sizes can be separated from each other with the help of a sieve. In Hindi, we also call it as chhanni. Daily, your mother uses this sieve to separate wheat flour from its impurities. It allows the fine flour particles to pass through the holes of the sieve while the bigger impurities remain on the sieve. Sieving is also used to separate pebbles and stones from sand at construction sites. Next method of separation, sedimentation and decantation, they always work together. Sedimentation is a process in which insoluble heavy particles in a liquid are allowed to settle down at the bottom of container. For example, when we add water to rice or pulses, then they settle down as they are heavier than water. Whereas decantation is a process of gently pouring clear liquid into another beaker without disturbing the sediments. For example, in the above case, the lighter dust particles float and the water along with the dust particles is removed. So this is sedimentation and decantation. Rice, it is heavier than water. All the dust particles, they are present in water, and we can easily pour this liquid into another container in order to separate all the dust particles from rice. This is a second example of sedimentation and decantation. In this beaker, there is a mixture of oil and water. Oil, it is lighter than water and will form a layer on the surface of water. This oil can be separated from water by decantation process. Similarly, you can easily separate soil from water by sedimentation and decantation. Soil, it is heavier than water, it will settle down at the bottom, whereas the liquid can be transferred into another vessel. So right now we discussed that by sedimentation and decantation, we can easily separate sand from water. There is another method which can be used to separate sand from water, and the process is known as filtration. So it is a process of separating solid particles like dirt from a liquid by passing through a medium known as filter paper. So there is a filter paper present in a funnel. When we add mixture of sand and water into this funnel, all the liquid will pass through the filter paper, whereas sand particles will not be able to pass through filter paper and gets collected in this filter paper cone. So by filtration, we can easily separate sand from water. This is the way by which we can prepare a filter paper cone. Filter paper, they are present in chemistry labs, and whenever we do any kind of experiment related to filtration, we use this filter paper. Where do we use filtration? To separate pulp and seeds from the juice, to separate tea leaves from liquid tea. In both the cases, we are using strainer as a filter to separate solid particles from the liquid. To separate paneer from milk, in this case, cloth is used as a filter to separate solid paneer particles from liquid. Next method of separation is evaporation. In evaporation, it gets converted into water vapor by heating. It is a process of converting liquid into vapor by increasing the temperature of a liquid. So by increasing the temperature of liquid, water, it gets converted into water vapor. This process is used to separate salt from salty water or seawater. So how can we obtain salt from seawater? Seawater contains many salts mixed in it. When seawater is allowed to stand in shallow pits, water gets heated by sunlight and slowly turns into water vapor through evaporation. In a few days, the water evaporates completely, leaving behind the solid salts. Common salt is then obtained from this mixture of salts by purification. Use of more than one method of separation. In order to separate different components of a mixture, we can also use different methods of separation. For example, there is a mixture of salt and sand, and you have to separate this salt from sand. Then you have to use different methods of separation. The first method is sedimentation. So in a mixture of sand and salt, you have to add some water. We know that sand, it is heavier than water, so it will settle down at the bottom of a beaker, whereas salt can dissolve in water. Second method, after sedimentation, we can use filtration. This mixture will be added in this funnel which contain filter paper. We know that sand particles will not be able to pass through this filter paper, whereas the liquid part which contains salt and in water can be passed through the filter paper. So this is the mixture of salt and water in which sand is not present. After filtration, we can do evaporation and condensation. So there is a beaker which contains salty water. When we will provide heat to this beaker, all the water will get converted into water vapor. Salt will be there in the beaker, but water gets converted into water vapor. When this water vapor comes in contact with this metal plate where ice is present on the top, it gets condenses to form liquid. So liquid gets collected in this beaker. Condensation, it is the process of converting vapor into its liquid form by decreasing the temperature. So in evaporation, liquid converts into vapor by heating, whereas in condensation, vapor converted into liquid by cooling. So this is all about evaporation and condensation. Now we will discuss about saturated solution. Before that, we will discuss one activity. In this activity, you have to add 1 teaspoon of salt in a glass of water and mix it well. Salt will get dissolved in water. Add some more amount of salt and stir it well. The salt will get dissolved again. In this case, when you will add some more amount of salt, it will not dissolve and gets collected at the bottom. It means that you have prepared a saturated solution of salt in which no more salt can be dissolved now. A solution is said to be saturated when no more solute or substance can be dissolved in the solvent. In this case, salt is solute, whereas water is a solvent. Larger amount of substance can be dissolved in water on heating or by increasing the amount of water. If you will provide heat to this solution, then the salt will again start dissolving in water. Or if you will increase the amount of water in this case, then also salt will start dissolving in it. So by increasing the temperature and by increasing the amount of water, we can easily dissolve a particular kind of substance in a solvent. With this, we have completed the chapter. If you have any doubt, please write your questions in a comment box and please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.